Good morning. Welcome back to Dower House Farms. Steve from Cobb's Farm in East Cork, South of Ireland. We put up a video every day. Please like and subscribe. It helps the video to grow, get out to other people. Get a few new subs, you know. Keep the old channel growing. So it's going very well now, so I'm happy. Sunday morning now, just getting the jobs done, getting the feeding done. And I'm going to give you a run through of our performance of the weanlings over the winter. So we're after weighing them all over the last 2 weeks, I'd say. So it's not an exact one because they weren't all weighed the same day, but then they weren't all weighed the same day going in either. So I'm just taking the pit off or the cover off a pit of maize here. So we were taking the maize out of that side, but I'm after piling all the beet up in front of that because I need the space. So I'm going to start into the small side now. Excuse me. Should get back that fairly quick. And once that's emptied out, then we'll start pitting beet and we'll fill it back up with beet that's pitted then. We'll be feeding a good few cattle there now all summer, so it's a good job for that. We'll probably pit it with beet pulp and maize meal is what I'm told. I never used maize meal before. I did use beet pulp and, I used just rolled barley one year actually, and it worked fairly well. So, change of plan. I was going to go racing and have a day off, but I'm going cultivating instead. Try and get these beans had hopefully. So welcome back to the studio, where today we're going to give full insight into harrowing for beans and performance of our weanlings over the winter. So we started to house our weanlings about the first week of November, I think. I can't even tell fibs anymore, so someone will just go back and see what day we put them in and tell me I'm wrong. But it was sometime near on the end of November, or the start of November, without knowing the exact date. Harrowing around the pole. It's called multitasking. They tell me only women can do it, but I disagree. So yeah, we started housing our cattle about the first week of November, and I checked it this morning. The last group was housed the 27th of November, I think. So they were in 3 groups for the winter. 2 groups were up in the outside farm. Plenty of space allocation in the shed. Would have been our better cattle, and before they were weighed, so there's about 64.5 per side, about 65 I'd say per side. And the worst 12 were taken out of each side, or maybe not the worst, there was 1 or 2 lame ones, we took them out, then the smallest ones, so we took them out, just a bit of context. And down at home then is the pen in the yard, which probably should have had, look, there's 33 in it I think, there's probably 3 or 4 too many in it. Still all have enough room to lie down at the one time, so it should be okay, but more, a bit more tightly packed than it's off here a bit now because I get stuck and right in there. Now, through. So we weighed them in 4 different batches. The first batch weighed for the 7 outliers and the 33 inside in the in the shed at home that were heavily stocked. Would have been the smallest group going in. I don't know their weight going in, and would have all the worst of the calves in them. Their average weight was 284 kilos. Oh, hold on now. Sorry. Their average weight was 280 kilos. But they only did 0.5 a day. Now that isn't good enough. At the moment, I'm putting it down to space allocation in the shed, but look, there's any calf that would have been sick last year is in that group. So, it is what it is. I'll delving more into the 0.5 a kilo in a minute. So, the second group then we weighed were the 24 that we took down out of the outside yard, 12 out of each pen. Mainly small ones, but there was a couple of lame ones that look invariably were that little bit lighter. They weighed 284 kilos and they did 0.72 a day, so acceptable. Your aim is about 0.75 to 8. It's hard to swing closer to 8 or a little bit above it now at this stage with bulls, especially with a high beef price. But look, it all comes down to economics in the end, and the economics of compensatory growth, etc., etc., etc. That's what they did. Their average weight was 0.8, or their average weight was 284. They were from 350 down to 200 kilos, 245 down to 201 kilos, 0.72 a day. And then we had the two big groups up in the outside farm. There's about 55 per group in that. They were weighed yesterday and the day before. The ones the day before were 321 kilos. They did 1.08 kilos a day, and they were from 426 down to 246 kilos, which is super, unbelievable. Really good cattle in them, really well grown cattle. Could be a touch on the warm side. I mightn't get much compensatory growth out of them, but time will tell over the summer how they do. And the second bunch then were 284 kilos. Sorry, they were 331 kilos. I'll concentrate here now 1 minute, have to get stuck again. Fine line with this machine to lift it, but to drop it back down, because if it's digging in, it's hard to get back up on top of the ground if you have the weight on the tractor. So the last group we had were, where am I? I've lost now. They were 331 kilos, they did 0.95 a kilo a day, and they were from 398 down to 280 kilos. So again, super weight. The interesting I think the interesting observation that will come out of this weighing in time, I don't have the answer now, but I will have the answer hopefully by the end of the summer, is did the extra space allocation to the weanlings make the difference of nearly half a kilo of gain a day? I don't think so. I don't think it will, definitely did make half a kilo a day. But could it have made 0.1 or 2 of a kilo a day? Maybe, we'll see. But how I know that now is I'll average their weight gain. Obviously they'll be weighed now. This is their pre-grazing weighing, and they'll be weighed again when they come in. Or maybe mid-season, we'll see if we've time. So I'll then know if the cattle that only did 0.5 of a kilo a day during the winter, if they do like 0.3 or 4 of a kilo a day extra at grass, that'll tell me that there's a huge compensatory growth. They're getting huge compensatory growth, and that's because they were held back for the summer. I don't know. It's an observation that I'm looking forward to seeing. So look, that's just a bit on the performance diet of 4 kilos of beef, just under a kilo of soya, a kilo of soya hulls, maize silage, and red clover silage, and start maize on kilo straw. So that's what they were on. Their average weight over all the weanlings was 313 kilos, and their average gain was 0.9 of a kilo a day on say about 2.6 kilos of ration. Serious gain with no health issues all winter, a little bit of lameness, so yeah, it went well, thank God. We're delighted with the performance. So that is that on the weanlings. I'm just harrowing away here now. I don't know if I told you on the video. I did a live there earlier on, but some of the facts in it were wrong, so I said I better delete it. I'll tell you, just for the people who missed it. We were speaking about grass measuring, and it was just a question on the grass videos. I said, should I keep going with them or not? And people were positive, they said they're good, so I keep doing them. But one of the chaps said that it was his downfall, and I made the comment that it was also my downfall. I hadn't been doing regular grass walks on my own grazing blocks last year because I was just too busy. That's my goal now for this year, is to weekly grass walks on all our grazing blocks. But so I said, if you have a 100-acre farm, right, and you get 0.05 of a kilo extra per day over 200 days, and you're stocked to 3 cattle per acre, okay? So that's 200 days by 0.05, I said was 40, which obviously is not. It is, hold on now, 1 second, I'll get back to you. Yeah, so I got my maths wrong. I said 200 kilos by 0.05 was 40. Obviously it's not, it's 10. So that's 10 kilos. So if you put on 0.05 of a kilo a day extra through good grassland management, that's 10 kilos per head. That's 30 kilos per acre, which is 15 kilos dead weight, which is 15 by 6 is €90 per acre extra through good grassland management. By 100 acres is 9,000. By good grassland management, €9,000. I think for me that's a no-brainer anyway. We're all out trying to maximise efficiency and cut costs where we can and keep costs down. There you go, €9,000 extra a year on a 100-acre block, and it's not that hard to do. So anyway, I think I'm going to leave it there for today's video now. A bit of an airy-fairy video. I'd say most of it is just me here sitting in the tractor. I'm cultivating here for beans. Hopefully it starts on beans tomorrow evening or Tuesday morning. There was savage drying there earlier on today, but it's after dropping off now a good bit, so we'll need a good day of drying now to get this planted. But anyway, that's it for me now.